Oh yeah, no. All right, hello. Knock knock. Anyone home?
Nope, no one home.
I
I
hello everyone. If you're in the stream and you can hear me, please let me know as I cannot hear myself streaming.
oh yep.
Thank you very
I
much.
stream and you can hear me. I can.
Hi S'mores or Jafet. Hello. Yep. Today we're going to be doing Detective Alliances Tournament Day 4. Is that correct, NX?
Yes. Wait, right now in the stream I can't hear myself that well. Like I'm super soft. But
Oh, I know why. Because I never turned on the desktop audio.
no, not the desktop audio.
Well, I think we should be able to hear you now. Maybe.
Give me- Oh yeah, it did go up.
Well, hey, let me know. For those of you in the stream, please let me know if the audio balance between me and NX is good. Like, let me know if you want me to lower my voice or lower his voice or like raise whoever's voice. Like, yeah, please let me know, as I cannot hear a single thing, man. Yeah, I'm just concerned with the audio balance. I cannot hear it, or else things will be chaotic. So I need you guys to tell me if you want me to lower or raise any one of our audios.
Yeah. For now it sounds quite fine, so don't worry about it.
All right, then let me go and check what is going on. But hello, Kirani. Wait. Remind me on who is playing again, or like what the teams are again.
Wait, I'm actually quite lacking behind. Okay, the teams that are playing right now should be Team AK and what's the team called? AT Erika, basically.
At 10A.
Yes.
Atne and AKDS. Is that get it correct?
Yes. Yep, that's correct.
All right. So yep, for AKDS we saw them as they unfortunately lost to Fly High yesterday, 2-0. And for those of you who didn't know, let me just update you the round robin. This is a round robin tournament with 3 teams, and the team that loses 2 match or has the lowest point of score will be eliminated because AKDS already lost yesterday. If they lose today, then that means that they will be the team with the lowest scores.
Well, right now I think they already chose their survivors and hunters.
Oh yeah,
and
can know that so I can work on the band pick screen.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know where to look for the info, so I'm gonna need your help today, NX. And by the way, welcome and hopefully you guys will be enjoy this unprofessional commentating from Invisible Jung over here.
And VNX. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, NX.
It's
Yeah.
just NX.
It actually feels so good to be back on the commentators. See, yesterday I was here, but it has been a while since I've commentated, so I was a bit rusty yesterday. So yep,
The last time I commentated was with you at for the IMR.
Good memories, happy memories.
It's bad memory.
Oh, speaking of commentating, just a shameless plug-in is that for those of you who love to see me commentate, make sure to stay tuned for IVA, which is a NetEase sponsored tournament that's hosted by Nello Mello, and I will be casting over there, and I'm so excited to hop back into casting because it was just so much fun casting top teams with my camera on and with broadcasters.
Whoa, I wish I should actually commentate on such pro tournaments.
Hey, actually, you can apply. You can apply for it.
Yeah, but I still do not think I'm like I'm good enough to be a commentator.
Who knows? You can try applying it because I didn't think I was good enough when I applied. Hold on.
Yeah, and true. And you did start, and then you start having your own whole tournament with your own commentating skills put to use.
Yeah, because I actually been commentating around here for a long. I've actually been commentating for a very long time, so yeah, I guess I'm more used to it at this point. Though I was a bit rusty.
Me next, me next.
So hold on a second, guys. We're currently just waiting on a couple of info between Athene and AKDS. So as currently we're still awaiting on whether we know the map or stuff.
I think we should already have the map, which is over here.
Ah, my bad. Hold on a second. So, whoa, it's already. Oh, it's already chosen from the start, man.
Everything was already chosen from the start. Even
Okay,
I missed out on that.
All right, then I'm ready. Oh, I wanted to flex my band pick screen. I guess that's for next round, as everything was so done so fast. Haha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
speed run your band pick. Just immediately click.
no,
everything.
no, that's way too fast. That's way too fast for me to even go through it, man.
Let's start dragging the wrong characters inside.
Yeah, like, do you have a clue like how hard that is? How hard that is to
I
do it
think-
on spot?
I think I've seen you show me the background of all of it, and it looks so stressful trying to find all the images of the characters.
Yeah, especially when I have to commentate at the same time.
Yeah. I think the best option is to start mumbling while while dragging. No one will notice. No one will know.
So for those of you who don't know, I guess for this first round, because it was done pre-advanced, I'm going to manually talk about the ban picks. So Ever Sleeping Town was chosen. The Hunter has banned the Antiquarian Seer, while the Survivor chose Priestess, Ford, Cowboy, and Prisoner. And the Hunter. So this is going to be a double harassing team comp. And the Hunter chosen is the Night Watch NX. What do you think about that?
Well, Nightwatch is a very new hunter, and originally I would say at first chase, Nightwatch is a very easy first kite for survivors, but depending on which survivor you are, because like as you know, I used to play Enchantress a lot, so usually Enchantresses can counter Nightwatch at first presence super easily, but in the bigger presence, Nightwatch is way more annoying with like basically unlimited dash like Anne and Geisha.
Yeah, well, honestly, I will feel that he's a weaker version of Geisha. He definitely has some strong chasing skills and has some potential in pallet areas because he can, jump over it. But the downside of the Night Watch is that he's prone of being tight kited and definitely weaker in like small maps or more pallet concentrated maps, if you ask me.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. But the most worrying thing about a Night Watch is usually at the end game when he has his max presence, because he'll be able to quickly make his way from one gate to the other without really using teleport.
All right, yeah. So the BP screen will be available for next game because this game it was done too fast, and I do not want to delay everyone's time over here. But currently, as we can see Ford and Cowboy. So Ford and Cowboy against Night Watch is that if it's an open area, Night Watch does have counterplays against harassers because he can just use his strong wind to drag the survivors in front of him and land a hit, and then hit real fast. But this depends on if the harassers can really play around in pallet or behind the walls so that they will not get dragged in by the Night Watch.
Yes, and we have to take note that Night Watch's abilities is actually to prevent survivors from transitioning areas, because he has the thing that allows him to suck the survivors back towards him, so they'll be forced to kite in the same area although they used up most of their utilities there.
Yeah, definitely would agree with you about that. And the thing with Night Watch is that Night Watch is definitely very viable in this map because this is an open area map over here. Open area map, so Night Watch can use his wind current early game to slow the survivors down. So if the survivors want to do a decent kite, it's just all dependent on how they're going to be tight kiting the hunter.
Yes, and as we can see from the band picks, from the map selection areas, the Cowboy actually chose middle. Meanwhile, two people chose around the graveyard gate area, and one choosing what was that, corner.
Yep. So we'll have to see that what will the Night Watch be aiming here, as Night Watch will be spawning over here near the fake gate, and then he'll be going straight to turn, not going to be going for the 4 and going to be into the center, which is going to be Shimada's Cowboy.
Yes, but also right now, if you actually notice, Night Watch actually has peepers instead of the usual Night Watch that brings blink most of the time.
Personally, I do use peepers just because that, as I mentioned, Night Watch's weakness is mainly associated with his like weak in tight kiting, so the peepers will definitely help us. Meanwhile, we can see that Sasu over here will be approaching Nanashi's prisoner, and over here they're going to use another wind current, but this wind current did not exactly pay off due to Nanashi hiding behind the stairs over here, and currently we can see it's going to be looping up and down this single story.
Yes, but as we can see, the prisoner also is getting mind gamed by the hunter.
Yep.
And if it would be quite funny if the hunter did unfortunately fall into basement at that one moment.
Well, going to use acceleration over here, so let's see what will this mind game be here. But Sasu will not be going towards that mind game, and is going to approach the prisoner, who has already expended his electro chart and going to be taking one hit relatively fast.
Ooh, well, right now, but as you can see, the priestess is actually helping the prisoner with the harassing, but he tried to fake the hunter and go back to the portal, but unfortunately the hunter went through a little too fast, and now he's kiting in an area that doesn't really have much support anymore, and it's very bad against this type of hunters.
Yep, but going to the paladin mind game, but pretty bold for Sasu to just like make that charge attack through, and down goes Nanashi. And while the priestess portal did delay some time, unfortunately the prisoner ran to open areas, which is not exactly how to kite against a Night Watch, and now it's going to be a first chair with still 5 Cyvers remaining, NX.
Yeah, and unfortunately I actually thought the forward would have actually started harassing because the hunter didn't see him, but instead the hunter... Actually, as you can see, the forward is going to already start harassing at this point. Meanwhile, Priestess has set up a portal that can help the prisoner, where he just mind games and go back to upstairs Geisha house.
Oh, he's going to use a strong current to pull Priestess over and manage to down the Priestess in one hit. And honestly, right now they see it's going to Cowboys are going to be in danger over here, but the one flag effect that did not pay off, and the Cowboy get damaged, and that's like 2 survivors that are in danger. All of a sudden, that's the Cowboy got pulled over too.
So quite actually really unfortunate for the survivor side that the priestess and cowboy both got down at the same time, where prisoner luckily was able to escape, but unfortunately the decoding progress got destroyed for this one scene.
Yeah, because honestly the survivors committed too much because everyone was there into comboing, but the end result that was 2 survivors on the ground, so that is a negative trait on the survivor side, so that's unfortunate. But we can see that Sasu here is going to ignore the priestess, going to balloon the cowboy, and it's the 4 stuns, but did not work.
Oh, Hunter did drop the cowboy just on time, and forward isn't willing to risk using his football, surprisingly, which is quite off because usually when the hunter picks up, the forward will go all out, but now seems like the forward's a little scared of the Night Watch. But as you can see from this, the Night Watch with the max presence is quite dangerous, don't you agree?
Yeah, the Night Watch in max presence definitely has some camping abilities, that managing to get it down over there. There's no rebound kite for the Cowboy. Cowboy will be chaired again, but we can see that full presence Night Watch does have some potential in camping because of his ability to land a hit and use the strong wind current to pull survivors backwards, like this.
Yes, and even if he doesn't hit a survivor, even though his wind current doesn't catch a survivor, the weirdest part is that he still gets his abilities for the dashing part, which helps him a lot with his games.
Yeah, but honestly, I would question the move of Night Watch going to harass the Cypher just now, because this allowed the Cowboy to get rescued and kite over here. But let's see, will it pay off as the Cowboy manages to pull off a stun, allowing himself to survive for around another day.
Yes, but now unfortunately Cowboy getting hit. He is the one that's dead on chair, and forward I don't think he would be able to harass for long because the Night Watch is going to just counter him very well with the back and forth survivor looking like Vault.
Yep,
But-
that was a bit of a merry-go-round situation, and we can see that here the forward did.
Oh, and the forward got Terror Shock.
Yep, I was about to say the forward managing to dance around these palaces, but unfortunately, that is the end of the forward's dance as it go down. But if we look at the Cypher progress, only one Cypher remains as prime during all the chaos, so now it is going to be a Freeman endgame situation.
Well, from the looks of it, forward still has a little bit more of football, and in the all hopes that the Hunter doesn't really. Oh, but the Hunter did catch him, and he wasn't able to completely use his football to dash away. But from the looks of it now, based on Hunter having teleport, Hunter caught up to the prisoner, and saw the priestess. So now, knowing that the priestess is there, he's going to probably terror shock the priestess.
Yeah, remember the priestess had already been chair one, and Nanashi is also in the vicinity. So now Nanashi also have to watch out here. Like there are everyone here go chair. Oh, that was a pretty good mind game over there.
Yes, okay, so now it's from the looks of it, it really is a most likely a draw situation unless one of the survivors are able to somehow pull off the rescue.
I don't think
And
they will
right
be
now-
doing so.
Yes, from the looks of this. But right now, the Hunter is very reluctant to go towards the Graveyard Gate, which is quite concerning because the prisoner at any moment can come back.
Oh,
But
he's
from the looks
here.
of it, the Hunter has a plan. where
Yeah.
The Hunter,
Here-
because remember, he can do a dash.
Here he's trying to bait the prisoner into going for it. He's trying to bait by hiding and pretending, but oh, never mind, the prisoner is going to go for it because he once again directed the dissonant, and I will question this move here as the strong wind Kieran fails to pull anyone here, and the prisoner still has electro stun, but the prisoner will be going down over here, and the priestess
Yes.
is managing to stay alive at the graveyard.
So now prisoner will be the one that's chat, and now forward has to debate whether he is able to probably get a syringe or something that can actually help rescue, because now priestess is actually having troubles to leave graveyard. So forward will have to actually help out, which you can
Yeah.
if you see he's actually making his way to the prisoner as we speak.
Yeah, so, but Kieran, I actually feel like the priestess could have called for a long portal just now, priestess could have called for a long portal to escape, because now everyone is in danger, but Sass is going to be leaving, and oh, never mind, going to go back. Let's see, will he go back or not? The priestess is going to go up, but the forward is going to sneak for it. Like, we can see that there is a recurring, there's a recurring thing throughout this game, is the Hunter
Yes.
keeps on allowing the survivors to sneak rescues.
Yeah, and from the looks of it, if he is unfortunate, the prisoner might actually be able to get to the dungeon, which is at middle.
Yeah, because the prisoner, I believe, still has one electro charge over here. Going to be using it, but
Yes.
can he get out? But he's going to accelerate and knocked it out, and I don't think he's able to
No.
crawl from this distance, and there will be a tie.
Yes, but that was a really good try from the survivor side. Unfortunately, the Hunter keeps constantly leaving the chair and believing that he could, like no one's coming for the rescue, which keeps going against him.
Yeah, because there are a couple of points, like that point when he left the chair at Cowboy's second chair to hit the portal, and the fourth sneaked off a rescue in half health, and also just now at endgame when he also once again left the chair, left the prisoner off the chair to try and catch the priestess, but then the fourth went in to rescue. Like, if he just waited till the prisoner got eliminated, then
Yes,
he can
because
just
actually sorry.
yeah, if he just waited for the cowboy to get, or rather the prisoner to get eliminated, there's nowhere for the priestess to run, then he could definitely play for a 3 to 4k, but by leaving the chair, he gave the survivors some chances to sneak rescues off. So,
Well, from what I see in this, the night watch could have already won the game quite early on if he had continued camping the cowboy at the middle area, if you recall. But then he left completely, trying to get to the cipher of priestess and prisoner, where the forward was able to just sneak in one rescue.
yep. Yeah, the thing is that if he just camps the chair, no one could have rescued, and then he could have snowballed it, but he keeps on leaving the chair, and which gave the survivor the opening room that they need. So with that, but we do have to applaud AKDS's Survivor for managing to sneak the room because things were looking very bad for them when they had two survivors on the ground. Because just now when the priestess went to rescue, they actually sent like everyone in because the priestess portal for stun Cowboy there, but they sent everyone into rescue, meaning that no one is the code, but they did not gain anything from that trade because the priestess and Cowboy both end up on the ground, and it was only just, and things were looking very bad for them. It was just only through like a series of missed decisions and some sneaky rescues that they managed to reverse that.
Well, the most unfortunate thing, yes, for the survivor side, it was indeed having both priestess and cowboy get down that middle after helping the prisoner, and the forward was also there sort of harassing. So it really did reduce the cipher progress by a lot. But luckily for the survivor side, the hunter has been making a lot of mess ups and mistakes where the hunter constantly leaves the chair and changes targets here and there, which allows them to actually get a lucky enough of a draw and even a almost potential win.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do feel like that is definitely like one of like pretty major mistake because the hunter definitely had the lead over there, and I do feel like the survivors, when they pulled off that combo over there, they were not being aware enough because the priestess just decoded the cipher at the center, like seemingly too confident that the hunter would not change onto her, but then the hunter did indeed change onto her apparently, and as a result she got caught off guard and got down very fast, if you ask me.
Yeah, so in my point of view for this, I would say both teams had an up and down in that one match. So let's hope the next match would be more targeted towards one team, and let's see whether the hunter or survivor side will actually be able to pull off hopefully a 4-man, because that's usually the coolest thing I've seen.
Well, we'll have to see because the first game ended in a tie, meaning that it's still anyone's game at this point, and both teams definitely will want for this next game to have like a decisive, like win the first round in order to stay in the lead.
Yes, because right now if they have another draw, it will be a very risky towards the end, because if they go 1 point off, they might end up losing the whole thing.
True. You're right about that, because like as I said, both teams would definitely want to no matter what definitely want to like get a lead first, because gaining a lead in BO1 would put you a huge advantage in BO2. So both teams would definitely be trying their best, meaning that I am expecting a fierce battle upcoming, and I'm here for it, Nenix.
Same here.
Alright, so we are receiving the news for the next ban. Yep, I figured out the ban pick screen, and sorry, I forgot to update the scoreboard. Give me a second. But the priestess is the first survivor being banned, NX. So tell me, what are your thoughts over here while I update the screen?
The first survivor being what?
Priestess is the first survivor being banned.
Well, it is actually very reasonable, especially in such a map, Ever Sleeping, where Priestess does counter a lot of hunters, regardless of like how good you are as a hunter. Priestess can counter you, and what's worse is that if you have her as first chase, yeah, that's good. You are able to stop her from supporting the team. But unfortunately, if you made a simple accident by maybe like she goes through a portal and she backtracks and you go through, you might actually completely lose the person that you're originally chasing.
Yeah, but there is one interesting to note is that the Seer normally is always a must pick the moment he's not banned, but actually in this meta, Seer is no longer the priority pick or priority ban that everyone was anticipating, and I believe it's because first there are starting to be hunters that can deal with the Seer or treats Priestess as a huger priority. For example, the Wax Artist is definitely one that I'm thinking of, as the Wax Artist is one of the hunters that's not afraid of the Seer and can release it.
Yes, and there are also some survivors that, like, because now in this tournament we are having a map selection logic, where even if you do play a seer, usually when you play a seer, it's to support your teammates or yourself, as well as to tell your teammates the location of the hunter. But with us having a map selection, there is actually no like specific need for a seer, because everyone should have already known, oh, the hunter spawned in this area, and it's estimated that this hunter might come to either this person or that person that's very nearby.
Well, while we're talking about that, Seer and Anti-Quarian has been locked in, so I suppose it's not much of a surprise to everyone because Seer's out and Anti-Quarian rose up the meta due to her ability to harass and kite at the same time and has near no weakness. And the Mercenary will be the next survivor being banned, and something tells me that Nanashi over here is leaning towards a camping hunter.
Ooh, if it's a camping hunter, what kind of hunter do you think it could actually be?
Well, I actually do feel like Bonbon has a slight chance because Bonbon is one hunter that is not afraid of the Seer, and also he does not like strong rescuers, hence the Mercenary being banned.
But usually I don't really see a Bonbon banning a mercenary, because nowadays, if you are a Bonbon and there's a first officer, the first officer is 100% always guaranteed able to rescue,
Yep. Yeah.
because he has his pocket watch and the tide that activates.
Yeah, actually there is also a strategy for Bonbon players to ban the first officer rather than the mercenary, but I think in the end it really depends on that player's personal preferences, even though I do think if it's a Bonbon, maybe banning the mercenary may be a better choice. Or rather, the first
Yes,
officer may be a better choice.
But right now, look at what the hunter has decided to pick. It's actually quite surprising in this sort of map.
Yep.
But I'm also not as surprised, as to say.
Well, oh yeah, this is probably from knowing Nanashi. And hold on, that it will be appearing in the screen, but we received news on the hunter's pick, and it is going to be the Violinist. So Violinist, this map, definitely interesting indeed. Hold on a second. So Violinist actually used to be meta around 2 or almost 3 years ago, but then after a nerf after nerf, he definitely fallen out a bit. And also with the introduction of flying survivors, like survivors with the ability to transition. For example, like Toy Merchant is one, Anti-Quarian is one, even the Patient is one. Like these, Violinist is strong in close range combating with the close range string mine games. But with these transitional kiting survivors, they can just fly around and not even give the Violinist any chance to have a string chance.
Yes, which makes me very worried, because for the hunter to pick a Violinist against a Seer, a First Officer, and even an Antiquarian. So if the hunter chases the Antiquarian can just stun him when he gets too near. And the Seer can just get Owl and just constantly use it. Meanwhile, like a First Officer, of course, a Rescuer, least likely. So like his only most valid target would be the Mechanic.
Yeah, but with the Mechanic, you can just leave a bot and instantly split from it, and that's like almost one free cipher. So honestly, this Violinist will have one tough game coming up because he is more of a campish hunter, but First Officer guarantees the rescue, and also the Mechanic cipher rushes, which camping hunters does not like, and not to count the Seers out. So I feel like if we're looking at team comps itself, the Violinist will have one rough game coming up.
Well, hopefully, let's see if the Violinist actually gets lucky with any stuffing of rescues, because usually when a survivor fails a rescue, the whole game changes in the most stressful point of view, where they start panicking more and more.
Yeah, so we'll have to see would that be the case over there. But as I said, this team comp, if played right, definitely has an advantage as long as the Mechanic does not have the worst case scenario. Like it's okay to be down relatively fast as a Mechanic as long as your bot doesn't get found. But if your bot gets found and then like a mother and son die situation, then this will be very hard. Then this will be a very bad situation for the survivors.
Well, usually, in my point of view, no matter what, the first officer like if was to come, no one's able to rescue. If the first officer wants, he would be able to actually pull off a good rescue regardless of his health. So hopefully he will take advantage of his pocket watches and be able to pull off some stunts and rescues against the hunter.
Yeah, well, the anti-Quarian is hard to see, but there is one risk with anti-Quarian strength with disarming, right? But here's the thing, though, is that the violinist can use her strength while being disarmed. So this is something that definitely needs to be noted. So the violinist being disarmed is not that bad, considering he still has his strings to use.
Yes, but this is based on if the hunter is good enough to succeed with all the strings.
Yeah,
Because most that I can suspect right now is that the anti-Quarian is going to do her best to avoid every string, and once avoid the string, even running towards the hunter to avoid the string, and just stunning the hunter so the hunter can't swing normally.
there's also a potential risk because anti-Quarian. One way for the anti-Quarian to kite is also by using her weapon to speed up. Because by doing so, she'll always make sure that she is out of range. She's out of range of the hunter. So to make sure she's always out of range of the hunters with her spinning form. So this is definitely something that we must take note of.
Well, overall, let's hope that
Yeah.
this match gets interesting, as well as we are rooting for both sides to actually get their own way.
Yeah, because the first round ended in a tie, so now we're hoping the second round, both teams would definitely want to break that tie, no matter what it takes to try and get a lead in BO1. So, but who do you think is the best target? I do feel like the mechanic is the best target, but
The mechanic is the best target, but however, it's based on whether you are able to get the bot first.
Yeah.
If the hunter is able to catch the bot first and follow up to the mechanic, then it should be a very good game.
yeah,
But if the mechanic's bot was able to hide, then unfortunately, the hunter will be having quite a struggle with the Cypher Rush.
yeah, but one thing to remember is that there is also the Sears owl in this game. So the Sears owl can be used to like block an attack to prevent any early down situation. So I feel like with the Seer and mechanic combo together, this will definitely make Violinist more tough of a break. But Violinist is one saving and potential way of turning things around is going to be using to gain something through the camp, like pull off the rescue, like pull off the camp. If he can't do that, then he may be able to reverse it. But internal team comp alone is shaping up to be a relatively slower first down, I'll say.
Well, what do you think the violinists would actually bring as their skill?
Well, it's hard to tell though.
Because
Hold on.
with this team comp is a very high debate between Blink and probably even an instant teleport.
Yeah,
So
but I do think maybe Blink, and actually I do think the personal choices from this Hunter is also can be debated too, because I feel like Trump card can be brought, Insolence can also be brought, some pro violence also brings Insolence now due to the difficulty of like how hard is it to hit the strings.
yes, and give me a second. Okay.
Sure thing. The violinist can bring blank or even or even like the quenching effect teleport, but that is a relatively like not the best play to have teleport for violinist, because as we mentioned in the meta now, it will be pretty hard to hit with the strings due to the survivors being good at dodging it, and also the increasing of like transitional kiting ability. So in the end, I do believe that the violinist still needs blink. It's just whether the trump card or insolence is used.
Yes, but as you can see, the wait, you also might need to change your screen. But right now, as you can see, the first officer is actually choosing middle instead, and the anti-courier choosing graveyard, as although it's one of the so-called safer spots in my point of view.
Oh my god. The game is not loading for me again. My game is
Give up,
frozen in this screen.
give up soon. Oh, I see.
My game is frozen.
Okay, anti-Korean chose graveyard. Mechanic chose beside graveyard in
I'll
the
try.
middle area, and first officer chose middle itself, and the last survivor chose left middle. So at the school gate.
Yeah, yeah, let NX like tell you visually what's going on as while I try to fix this. Yeah, I'm trying to fix this problem. I did not
Yes. Oh, and the hunter has chosen corner house. So right now, hunter is actually mechanic already dropped her bot very early on, and the hunter is running towards mechanic's direction where the hunter already saw the mechanic, but unfortunately, oh, the hunter saw the bot too. So the bot already got hit, and the mechanic is now getting chased. So it's like what I stated just now. If the mechanic's bot got found, it might be a very different game style.
Yeah, definitely. This is what we're saying from the start is that if the survivor like mechanic bot gets found too fast, then things may be like a whole different story.
Yes, and right now, mechanic already dropped her bot again. Uh, Jenny has paused the match, and okay. So overall, mechanic got hit by a note afterwards, and she managed to pallet stun the hunter. And hunter's build is actually peepers, not teleport.
Oh, actually,
And
peepers also actually can though because peepers like can increase the likelihood of hitting with the notes.
yes, so and right now, mechanic's still running away from the hunter while hunter's chasing behind, and she has dropped her last usage of her bot to probably buy time to distract the hunter from going away. Unfortunately, doing this actually enables the hunter to remain with one more hit into max presence after killing the mechanic. So by the time mechanic gets down, the next person that is rescuing will have to worry about the hunter's max presence, which can be a very big, like it can be very impactful towards the whole survivor side in a negative way based on many occurrences where hunter's max presence can affect the whole rescue logic.
Yeah, so the mechanic is already down. Down, is that correct?
No, the mechanic dropped her bot down, and the hunter's going towards the bot at the school gate area.
So currently this chase is still ongoing.
Yes, but right now you aren't even.
Yeah, I can only try to commentate from your side.
I can try and stream, but it might be very troubling. So please give me a moment.
Yeah, I'm trying to use the IDV PC version. Let's hope that the same won't happen again.
Yes. So give me a moment while I try to join back VC. Okay, wait. Hello.
Hello.
Are you? Oh, hi. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm currently streaming the match. So if you want, you can view through that. Unfortunately,
nice. Yeah. I think I should be able to fix this problem as I'll be using a different app next game. So hopefully, the next game won't have the same problem again. I mean, there will be delays if we're doing that, but I mean, there's not much. Hold on. Sure. Yep. Then rip. Go.
Okay, so now we should be able to watch the stream. Unfortunately, there is no sound, so apologies for that.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's apologies to me because the technical issues at my side. Whatever.
Okay, so now let's go back to where we were, where Mechanic was still being chased, and as you can see, her bot is actually dropped down to distract the hunter and buy time.
Yeah, but actually now now that the two bots are gone, this is actually very bad because now like we can see that there's still 5 ciphers remain, and the Mechanic sort of expanded both her bots too fast. So this is not a good situation for the survivors.
Yes, but the good thing right now is that we see that Mechanic was able to dodge 1 extra node hit. So now, although Hunter is closer to getting his max presence, Mechanic is still trying her best to buy time for the team.
Yeah, and actually we can see that Sears Owl is on cooldown. The Serum attempted a spectator did not work. As we can see that the Mechanic will be going down over there, and so now this is going to be a 4 cipher that still remains, as the Mechanic has no items remaining, and I believe the survivors will have to consider if they want to rescue or not.
Yes, and the worst part right now is that Mechanic is chat at a corner area where it is very difficult to rescue against. And now First Officer using his pocket watch quite early in the game. I mean, like quite early in middle. Hopefully he'll be able to pull off a rescue and not get down and stuff.
Yep, well, First Officer gonna go for it. The first string is going to miss over here, and managing to pull off a hit, but as we noted, the First Officer is not afraid to rescue in front of a violinist, as now the Mechanic will once again be chased. The Owl's going to be in play over here, so this allows the Mechanic to survive for another day.
Yes, unfortunately now Mechanic's in an area where the kiting route is quite bad, and but getting the pellet stun on the Hunter, which is quite good.
Yep. So the Mechanic is survived past Ty Turner.
Yeah, and now Mechanic getting chat around the same area. Meanwhile, you can see Anti-Current actually hoping to harass. But unfortunately, I feel like the Hunter might be going away. And Hunter is able to hit Anti-Current because of her over-harassing.
Yeah.
So I don't think she'll be able... Oh, but she is able. She's able to stop. And she's able to stop the Hunter from doing much, but unfortunately she did get hit as well as the Mechanic from the max presence.
Yeah, but the real question is that really worth it? Because the Anti-Current ended up going down with 1 string over there, and both Anti and Mechanic are down. With 2 down, this is actually not looking good for the survivors, as they still have 2 ciphers remaining, especially one of the massively decoded cipher is right next to them.
Yes, and now there is 2 more ciphers. Seer is doing 1 cipher, but now First Officer has used his last pocket watch, which was the one that would have been able to pull off a rescue. But now Anti-Current is actually trying her best to do the rescue, and it did succeed, but she misses a swing again, and unfortunately First Officer got down from the node, and Mechanic with the slow vaulting getting terror shock.
Yeah, so with that, this is actually not looking good, and the Anti-Current is going to be rushing the last cipher. It's actually already at 90% as the Mechanic being balloon over here, but watch how he's trying to go for the balloon hit, not going to be doing so. So I believe now the Anti-Current can finally rush that last cipher.
Yes, and now with the last cipher rushed, everyone should be going to a full gate. Meanwhile, the Hunter already has his eyes stuck on the Anti-Current.
Yep, eyes on the Anti-Current, but the Anti-Current still has a lot of weapons to work with over here, so the dungeon is at the center, but keep in mind that everyone was at the last cipher, so no one was by the gate, so it will take some time. And ooh, that was a pretty nice flywheel from the Anti-Current, dodging ahead and using another stun to disarm the Hunter.
Yes, but Anti-Current using the node hit to her advantage to actually have a speed boost. Unfortunately, she got too scared for the Hunter's max presence as well as the Hunter catching up, so unfortunately, she did get down, but as we can see, it looks like it's going to be another draw unless the Anti-Current's able to heal up and get to dungeon, which unfortunately is at middle where the Hunter's at.
Well, let's see where if the Anti-Current will have self-heal. If the Anti-Current did bring the self-heal acceleration personnel, it will, but he's crawling for it, so it seems like that's not likely. Oh, but because the Anti-Current already expended self-heal earlier, which we forgot, so... Yeah, with that, this is going to be another tie for BO1.
Yes, congratulations to both teams for sticking with the tie. And unfortunately, no team is able to have a lead, but let's hope that in BO2, one of the teams will be able to finally catch up.
Yep. So BO1 ends with a tie. Congratulations to both teams for the amazing performance. And this really just gives a hint on AKDS is not giving up today, seeing that if they lose, then they will be out.
Yes. So I will be stopping my stream now
Yeah.
for my phone, and I'll
Yeah.
be moving back to my laptop.
Yeah, because I'm going to be streaming on IDV PC version. Let's hope the same thing won't happen later. Sorry about the technical difficulty, guys. I did not anticipate the game not loading me in. So,
The game doesn't like you.
yeah, the game doesn't like me. Well, actually, like just now, with considering of how like things were very dangerous because the anti-Quarian, I believe, overcommitted with the support, because after swiping once, like if the anti-Quarian just played it safe and like not getting herself down, then he can actually
She
like
could have pulled off a rescue.
sorry.
She could have pulled off a rescue and start harassing after the rescue.
Yep. Yeah, because like when she got that, things were very dangerous over there, especially with the last cipher being disrupted. It was only like when the violinist chose to like leave the antiquarian on the ground, gave her the opening to self-heal herself back up and to pull off the rescue that she wanted. So if the violinist like after harassing the FO a bit, go back to balloon the antiquarian and make sure she doesn't get back up, then that game will have a much different result.
Yes, it was quite unfortunate to see the anti-current actually start to over-harass, and in both times of her harassment, did you notice that she actually missed her last swing after having 2 swings?
Yep, I did.
And in both of those moments, it was very unfortunate because during both of those times, the hunter kept using his notes, which always counters her.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for both sides. Like the mechanic sort of not failing to, like I didn't see that, but the mechanic failing to hide her bot is definitely a bit detrimental too, I believe.
Yes, the mechanic did actually manage to hide the bot at the start, but unfortunately it wasn't really properly behind the area. So when the hunter went by, the hunter saw a trail mark of the mechanic and looked behind and noticed that the bot was there. So the hunter ended up actually using the note to down the bot while still chasing the mechanic without any delay.
Yeah. So because like for those of you who played or mechanic players, keep in mind that you have to like hide. Make sure you have to hide the bot in a spot that the hunter cannot find, because one of the worst things while playing mechanic is have both the mother and son both die, which is exactly what happened over there. But we can see that actually the team comp ended up paying off because the seer was there, first officer guaranteed rescue. So yeah, despite of a bit of a hiccup on the survivor side, their team comp did allow them to put through.
Yes, and if they were lucky enough, they could have actually popped the cipher in time before the mechanic had gotten finally killed.
Well,
but quite unfortunate that the hunter did chair the mechanic very near the cipher, so the cipher rush was really delayed because of it.
Well, that was because the first officer died to a string over there. If the first officer did not get, like if the violence failed to hit the first officer over there, the first officer would have been there to rush the cipher, and the ciphers would be enough for a free man escape situation.
Yes, and for that part, first officer actually did go to the rescue because he actually had doubts that the anti-current would have been able to successfully pull off a rescue, which was almost true. Luckily, anti-current being smart, using her smacks the cane, the stick. She was able to use the stick and actually managed to stop the hunter from swinging at her. And while the hunter whips out his skill, she's still able to rescue due to the time it takes for the hunter to actually pull out his string fully.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're talking about, the strength of Anti-Quarian. Anti-Quarian swipes the hunter and manages to pull off the rescue with disarmed state. So yeah, like we can see that the strength of the Anti-Quarian with the high potential, disarming people left and right, and also kiting, and honestly it was just with if it was another survivor, there was no way that they could have pulled off that rescue over there.
Oh, please don't accept that. I'm sorry.
Oh, never mind about that. But we are receiving news on the second match and on the second map, and it is going to be the Red Church.
Ooh, Red Church. It's a very big potential for many hunters and survivors.
Now, honestly, Red Church, according to most players, believe that the Red Church is the most balanced map ever created by NetEase, and seeing that there are lots of like balance changes over the years, but there was never one. There's never a lot of changes of Red Church, and people believe that it's very balanced, with both the survivor and the hunter have an equal chance of pulling something off.
Yes, unlike Arms Factory where they removed the 1 pellet at the 3 pellet area, so now we call it 2 pellets.
Oh yeah, I do miss the time that when it was called a 3 pallet area, but unfortunately times do change.
We can start saying that, hey, it's used to be 3 pellet area.
Old, or maybe let's call it an old 3 pallet area.
Old 3 pellet, the invisible pellet.
Oh yeah, invisible, yay.
You can call it the invisible pellet.
But honestly, that palette is like very memorable because like Arms Factory is the first map of IDV, and people always will remember this free palette area at the central, and the fact that it's gone now is definitely like sparks memories of the early days.
Yeah. Hey, but it was one of their balancing methods towards survivors and hunter side. Unfortunately, now they have added this hunter, which makes it a little harder. They're adding more hunters that actually counters all the survivors' utilities slowly one by one.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like eventually they're also gonna bring back a survivor buff where they're gonna start creating more survivors that counters the new hunters, which is basically the older hunters might slowly get forgotten as well as survivors.
Alright, so while we're talking about that, as we can see in the screen right now, AKDS's, hold on, let me check. Atena's Hunter Sasu will be up first, and we have already received the news of the first 2 survivors being banned, and this is a very interesting ban because he chose to ban the Priestess and then the Prisoner.
Ooh. So having a Priestess and the most important part that we have to take note of is the Prisoner ban. Because
Yeah.
usually what kind of hunter would not want a prisoner? Usually I would expect, honestly, would be a clerk or a hermit, because those things are the ones that prisoner can counter in terms of cipher.
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more, but here's the thing though, is that if it is indeed a clerk has more priority bans. Like clerk may not like prisoner, but clerk doesn't like other characters more. For example, the harassers for antiquarian more.
That is true, but maybe it's a type of clerk that maybe because due to these teams already playing and watching each other's from the previous matches, if they did watch each other in the previous matches and see how they play and what characters they pick, they might be confident that they won't be picking such a character. But right now we can actually see all of the sorts of ban that they have and what survivors they picked, and it's quite a very interesting choice.
Yep. First of all, let's update with you the Hunter being banned, which we received news of the Wax Artist. But Wax Artist being banned at this map is interesting because Wax Artist is not that strong in this map, and Sasu didn't even use the Wax Artist in the BO1, so this is a very interesting situation.
Yes, I was expecting them to ban hunters like from what was previously played. I was expecting them to ban maybe Nightwatch or Clerk, Hermit, because in this map, having a Wax Artist in this map is actually a survivor's advantage instead. Because Wax Artist in this map isn't really that good based on the number of walls around the areas.
Yeah, the Wax Artist is more stronger in maps with fewer high wall areas. For instance, the Ever Sleeping Town, Chinatown, or maybe Moonlit River Park. But there are lots of high wall areas here, making it very hard for Wax Artists to add wax on the survivors. So I do wonder what are they aiming here by getting rid of the Wax Artist. And meanwhile, we also received news on the first two survivors, and it will be the forward and the mechanic, which is one of the like top choices in like the previous meta, but Ford definitely dropped off the meta now due to the anti-current better than him in different places, and also the removal of 369 also hurts it too.
Yes, because now I've rarely seen, like, in any future, like in any of the most recent official tournaments,
Yeah,
and even the
correct.
unofficial ones, I've rarely seen people banning forward now, and most of them has been starting to ban characters like Antiquarian even.
Yeah, because here's the thing though, is the forward without knee-jerk reflex and broken windows has a risk of dying fast itself, and also the other thing is that the forward always will have a 30% decoding debuff, and first of all, having no knee-jerk reflex means that the forward may be forced into using his football much faster than before, and also once his football is out, he's just a whiteboard character with a 30% decoding debuff.
Yes, so, and meanwhile, Antiquarian is the only character that doesn't really seem to have much of a big debuff, which means that Antiquarian even has the same sort of stunning capabilities, and it's even able to stop a hunter from attacking for a short time period, which can buy a lot. Like, although it's for those few seconds where the hunter is not able to swing at a survivor, it can actually help buy just enough time for maybe a Cypher Pop or a Cypher Prime, for any example.
Hold on, we received the news on the next two survivors, and as we can see on the screen, it's going to be the Acrobat and the First Officer. So these two are pretty solid on their own, but I'm more interested in having First Officer and Ford in the same team with dual rescuer, make sure that there won't be any failed rescue, but that also means that the decoding speed of this team is taking a huge hit there, NX.
Wait.
Because here's the thing though, the First Officer has a 20% and a 30% decoding debuff, and also like First Officer 4 had 20 and 30% decoding debuff though, so this means that the Cypher decoding speed of this team will be very slow. They do indeed have the mechanic to boost up the decoding speed, but then let's just really not forget that the decoding speed of this team will be relatively slow. And I think they are probably like trying to prevent camping hunter from doing this to ensure that no matter what camping hunters they face against, they can still pull off the rescue no matter what.
Yes, but right now, how much do you want to actually place on a bet where the Acrobat will be the one opening a gate in the end?
Well,
Because most of the time, although Acrobat does have the slowest decoding, it always surprisingly ends up with the Acrobat being the one that actually has to open the gate regardless.
Oh, Acrobat doesn't have the slowest decoding, but yeah, you're right about Acrobat having a slow popping gate speed that may come into play, as we have received news that Nayat, as we can see is up on the screen right now, Nayat is going to be the hunter that's chosen over here, and this is a strong camping hunter, so the First Officer may work out against her, but Nayat is not afraid of the Ford due to having the ability to surround a large moisture area, and the Ford can't really go into the vicinity to try and stun, or else he'll gain moisture.
Yes, and usually I've seen most Nayats camp chairs, and their logic is always to circle around the survivor that's coming to rescue, and usually it works out with gaining an increase, a very drastic increase with the water level, which also allows the Nayat to ensure that the rescue will fail regardless of what they try. But the luckiest part right now is that we do have a First Officer in the survivor side, so even if he unfortunately gets double hit with the water hit and the basic, he should still be able to rescue as long as he had used his pocket watch during the time period.
Yeah, and with one more potential advantage with the forward is that if you really don't want to risk anything, you can just go for a stun rescue. Stun rescuing.
Yeah, that is true.
Go ahead.
A stun rescue is a very good idea, but right now, based on what hunter this is, I most likely would rather recommend a harassing than a stun rescue.
Yeah, and actually I think that how and when the forward stun in this game will be very detrimental, because as I noticed just now, be very hard for the forward to try and balloon harass while survivors on the ground. So if they want to, for this forward to pay off, then they will have to use the forward to stun during mid chases or attack recoveries and stuff to prolong the kite. As I believe that prolonging the kite is the only way the forward can really pay off due to it being harder to do balloon rescuing.
Well, based on this, I really doubt that the forward is willing to risk a balloon rescue. But if we want to make sure, like if the survivors want to make sure that they succeed 100% without getting a single down survivor after a rescue, I feel like the forward might actually do an instant rescue where when the hunter chairs the survivor, the forward would go and stun the hunter on the spot.
Yeah, yep, I definitely agree with you on that. So let's talk about who is going to be the first survivor being chased. And I do feel like the mechanic, yep, it's almost certain the mechanic will be the first chase due to her bot. But we'll have to see that if the mechanic can hide her bot this game, because the last game we can see the mechanic failed to hide her bot and her bot, and she had a mother and son down very fast. So it's a question of if she can hide her bot this game well. But if the knight is spawned too far from the mechanic, then she can also consider to go to the acrobat instead. But that's definitely a more harder chase because acrobat does have bombs to jump over windows and like forcefully exit the moisture circle. So it will take a bit longer time for the knight to down the acrobat. And with the mechanic outside, this means that the chasing time allowed for the hunter is much less than before, because the bot can also like double up the decoding speed. So hold on guys, let me swap into the screens over here. So we can see that currently this is going to be the spawn over here. The mechanic chose to spawn in the graveyard. Meanwhile, Naiad actually spawned the furthest spawn in the shack, which is the furthest location to where the mechanic is, and this is not looking good. Because now we have to debate whether to chase the acrobat or wander over the entire map to get to the mechanic, which both are definitely not good situations.
Okay. So, but the most confusing part was Naiad didn't actually pick the middle on the right side.
Yeah?
Because usually that would have been the normal hunter pick because they have 3 different options to go to. But now, however, hunter choosing shack is quite a disadvantage because now, by the time hunter makes it to a survivor at the back gate area potentially, those survivors would have already rotated quite far away.
Yeah, I do believe maybe choosing at the middle may be better. And hold on, let me just lower the sound. So we're now going to be into the game right now, and we can see that the acrobat will be the survivor taking the first kite over here, and yep, going to be looping around this area, but Naiad already has a moisture circle wrapped up, so now she can just retrieve her harpoon here and surround the acrobat with moisture, forcing him to leave this area.
Yes, but unfortunately, as you can see, the moisture is actually surrounding such a small area, which allows him to kite a little bit longer. And right now, he's able to actually constantly kite and use his balls and everything to actually gain an upper advantage in kiting longer.
Yeah, we can see that this second circle from the knight unfortunately did not surround too much of an area over there. So, and off this area over here, the acrobat ran into the moisture area and they attempted to use a flywheel effect, but did not work over there. So unfortunately, the acrobat took a first hit relatively fast.
Yes, he counted the water level quite slow, but the water level did actually go up in quite a slower pace. And now Hunter is chasing him, and he's getting swarmed into his area. Well, although he managed to escape that, he is still drowning and unfortunately will be going down by a water hit again.
Yeah, as we noted before.
And the forward failing the stun rescue, where the forward tried to dash and unfortunately wasted less than half of his football, and he ends up hitting a wall if you didn't see that.
And hold on, this is a Patroller Knight, which we did not notice over here. Patroller Knight is actually interesting, but it's very useful in camping situations due to the ability to like surround the 4 over here and also stack up moisture, and the 4 knows that things are not good, so he's going to slam the pallet over there, which is a pretty smart move. So now Knight can no longer pursue, but this means the 4 cannot rescue it. This is definitely going to be overhand for the acrobat.
Yes, and from the looks of it, it might be a potential fail rescue because now we can see the first officer also coming in for the rescue as he is also worried about the situation.
Yeah, so now is this going to be a double rescue situation to ensure the rescue no matter what, but will that pay off? Because the thing is that even though the rescue did manage, the acrobat got hit with no rebound kite at all. So with 2 survivors coming in, this means that the coding speed of the survivors was severely halted, but they did not really gain much from it.
Yes, and now we can see the acrobat going to basement to hopefully buy time for his team, where the hunter has to check in basement and make their way back out. Meanwhile, you can actually see the forward actually healing the first officer right now because they know that the hunter's next target will most likely be the mechanic, where it needs both rescuers to actually help support.
Never mind about that, because seems like Nine has other ideas. Due to having wanted order, Nine knew the approximate direction of them is going to be dashing towards the FO and forward, and here it seems that he'll be having his eye on the forward, and watch out because the mechanic spot is also in the basement, so let's see what will the Nine choose as she's going to be aiming for the bot now.
Yes, and remember, now Hunter has teleport. So by the time Hunter knocks the bot, the Hunter will be able to tell where the mechanic is and actually get the mechanic.
Yep,
So luckily, the Hunter left the mechanic's bot, but it's also quite unfortunate because the mechanic's bot is at a very low progress and won't be able to reach or do any ciphers or even the gate.
yeah, I guess that is one reason why Naya chose to swap targets, because he must have guessed that the bot is about to run up. But watch out, the first officer in pursuit over here. Will he manage to make it over there? Manage to dodge ahead, forcing out the second watch. As we can see that Sasu will be teleporting and aiming for the mechanic right now, knowing he cannot waste time the first officer with a watch.
Yes, and now that the mechanic cipher is indeed a prime cipher. Meanwhile, the first officer is getting his water level up, but at least avoiding it. But now mechanic is going to kite all the way still at middle broken area, and hopefully she'll be able to take use of this. But in the most unfortunate case, the hunter will be stopping and her failing the flying wheel, just as the acrobat did as well, which is very unfortunate. So right now the hunter might not even want the mechanic anymore from the looks of this, or the hunter's trying to swarm the entire of church.
Yeah, so let's see what will the hunter's plan over here. We're going to make a dash for it. Seems like he's still fixated on to getting this mechanic down, but this also means that the last 2 ciphers are being done left and right, as we can see the forward cipher is already at 80%, and Athos is not far behind over there, so this is more marching towards seems like a free man endgame situation.
Yes, and from what we can see, it might actually be another draw yet, because now Knight's actually getting countered quite badly, and first officer's cipher is already primed.
Yep.
So with that being said, the forward is actually opening a chest to get a utility ability, basically, and the mechanic is going to continuously kite. Meanwhile, first officer waiting at the back gate area, where they decided to pop so that mechanic can get the speed boost with the water hit.
Yeah, they knew it would be very dangerous if the mechanic went down with a moisture attack over there, so it's a pretty smart judgment to pop as we're approaching endgame, and keep in mind that the Knight's teleport is back up, so if the Knight can down the mechanic fast over here, she can still teleport the gate for a chance, and over here going to be approaching the mechanic, but not dashing over there, which gave the mechanic some distance to work with as the mechanic goes down to moisture.
Yes, unfortunately, the mechanic walked into one of the moistures, and as well, the hunter surprisingly targeting her bot. So now knowing that mechanic has nothing to rescue, although first officer and forwards gate is already open, so we go off with yet another draw from both teams.
Yeah, if the Knight teleport earlier could have gone for the forward, but then again the Knight does not know their location, and it's fair to play it safe as we are in the 3rd tie for the day, NX.
Ooh. These 2 teams are just going back and forth with a tie, I see.
Yep, back and forth situation currently, but this is just going to show because this is a semifinals, and AKTS definitely does not want to get eliminated over here, so they will be putting it their all.
Thank you for calling my team.
Haha.
Okay, so right now, for all the matches so far, it has been a draw. So how do you think BO2 on round 2 would be? Do you suspect that it might also end off with a draw? Or do you think one team will finally take one step ahead in victory?
Well, this is too early to tell, but as I said, currently with both teams tied like back and forth, any point advantage one team can gain if and may come into play during the end game over here. So that is why, as I said, in BO1 second half, both teams definitely will want to give it their all, as you would not want to go into BO3 with a point defect, as this means that you'll be the one trying to like reverse a bad situation. But
Yes, and right now we actually have another commentator with us, which should
well-
should be Fish.
Hello.
hey Fish.
Sorry for late joining. Got something urgent just now.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Welcome in.
Okay. So like so how's the progress of the both team?
Oh, everything is a tie in 3 games. Tie.
You mean like you mean the BO1 like both team just went for a tie?
Yeah.
Yeah, in BO1 both teams
Oh.
got tie, as well as BO2 currently in round 1, both teams have a tie. So now we'll be
Oh.
waiting on the next side where give me a second. So right now it will be AK's Hunter side, AKDS Hunter side, where now we hope that one team will finally be able to grasp that first victory for their side.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean both teams will definitely be trying their best to like gain a slight lead over there, so anything may happen. But based on like as we recall, the Violinist was played at the first round, but it seems that Atane may be wanting to be getting rid of the Violinist. So I do wonder what else would they Nanashi have up his sleeve.
Yes, and from what we can see, apparently the Hunter might have actually changed, where the Hunter is now apparently Zenedin.
I'll say Zendyne.
Yeah, Zendine. So now the Hunter instead of Nanashi would be Zendine.
All right, so hold on a second. I need to switch the. Hold on a second. Let me change the scoreboard. So the Hunter now is Zenadine. So it seems that here their plan is to have Nanashi to play the Violinist first, and then for someone else to take over. So let's see what we'll be expecting from Zenadine here. And I am keeping my eyes peeled currently as I will be inviting all the teams in this tournament to my tournament, and I cannot wait to see what skill are they going to be showing me today.
Oh, you are inviting all the teams from this tournament.
Well, I need teams in the end.
Well, now I wish my team participated in this tournament.
Well, yeah, but you guys are participating in mine, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Best
also have plans, like a major project coming up about my tournaments.
Ooh.
And yeah, you guys can look forward to that. I'm not gonna leak it. No leaking allowed. It.
Come on, tell me. You can tell
No.
me. DM.
I'm not leaking anything. Wait for the announcement.
No, I don't want the announcement. Don't. I'll keep a secret.
You know that keep a secret is like we have like 10 people on stream hearing though.
DMs. I'll keep a secret.
Haha. Okay,
So
yeah.
Sorry?
You want to go ahead and talk about the bans so far while I put in the screen?
Sure. So right now, the Hunter has banned Seer and Antiquarian, and the survivors have decided to wait. Give me a second.
Priestess
The-
and Composer.
Yes. So the survivors have locked in Priestess and Composer, and meanwhile the Hunter ban from them would be a Bonbon, which is quite reasonable based on Bonbon being a good counter towards most surviving rescues. And as we can tell, we are hoping that they are aiming for a whole win instead of yet another draw.
Well, honestly, Seer and Antiquarian being banned first, I mean, yeah, they're pretty much in the meta, so we're sort of expecting it. It's over there, but I am excited to talk about about the Bonbon map, because I do recall Nanashi. I think he did play Bonbon at the past, but I don't feel like Nanashi was aiming for this Bonbon, because Bonbon would not ban a Seer first.
Yes, but unfortunately, right now the hunter that is picked to play isn't Nanashi. It is instead Xanadin.
Yeah.
And Prisoner is banned.
Or no, I was meant Xanadin just now. Sorry, sorry about that. I'm juggling between, like, my mind's juggling between two places. But so the first two survivors pick are Priestess and Composer. And first of all, the Priestess has a very high potential in this map because the church is a very strong place for the Priestess to place her supporting portals and help the survivors transition around the whole map. So it's not surprised that we get to see the Priestess over here. But the Composer, we never seen him being played in competitive gameplay, and I do wonder what are we expecting, as Composer doesn't really have much killing abilities apart from his acceleration.
Yes, but right now we can actually tell that the next two survivor pick wait, give me a second. The next two survivors pick are Novelist and Mercenary.
Alright, so first of all, the Prisoner is the next one being banned. Am I correct?
Yes.
So Prisoner being banned, it seems like what Hunter is really afraid of the Prisoner, but like there are unusually a lot of Prisoner bans today, though I'm not too certain why, because there are not lots of Hunter that hates the Prisoner a lot, apart from maybe Hermit and Clerk, but Clerk has more priority bans.
Yes, and right now actually Composer getting picked in such tournament is quite interesting because yes, Composer is good here and there based on his usages and like his usage abilities to have a speed buff as well as a slow, slightly increased decoding buff. But I've never really seen a person play Composer in a very competitive scenario.
Yeah, I mean, with his skill checks, he can use it to like increase his decoding speed, and also his skill check can increase his transitional kiting, but it doesn't help him a lot during like tight kiting areas, and he doesn't really have much skills against like transitional hunters such as the Geisha. So I'm really not too certain about this Composer pick. And also the Novelist, this is a character that have never been allowed to play in the competitive scene due to him being broken in team comp. So I'm very interested to see what would we see from this Novelist pick.
Yes, and right now we can tell Novelist is very overpowered, especially if he isn't the first kite. Because firstly, if right now in this map selection, if Priestess chooses middle, she'll be able to help support the team in placing the portals for them to kite longer. Meanwhile, if anyone else other than the Novelist gets chased, and near the end game when the person who is dead on chair, the Novelist will start body blocking, harassing, and even getting pages where he can just bring the hunter away from the person kiting, and it doesn't affect him.
Yeah, and the other thing is that if Novelist is not the first survivor being chased, they can go around to rescue, and then if they go around to rescue or support, and if they manage to do the swap pages, then this is almost a instant uncounterable forced swap chase situation, because once swapped for 5 seconds, then the hunter is definitely going to lose sight of the survivor they chaired, and this will be very bad for the hunter.
Yes, and right now we can actually see the hunter that has been chosen, which is quite a shock.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying to update it, but yes, the hunter is already being chosen, and it'll be appearing on the screen right now as the undead will be chosen over here.
Oh,
like,
let's go! Undead! Let's go! Woo! Wait, it's undead. Oh, I can't believe it. I can still see undead appearing in the matches.
Finally, there's someone just going in the background. Finally, a worthy opponent.
Oh my god, it's undead. But actually, I would say like for undead in this map, I would say it's pretty difficult. Like since there's a lot of runes and pollets this is not quite comfortable for Undead to make a chase and down survivor, especially like there's two characters that can decode pretty fast. One is Composer and Novelist. So yeah, I think Undead, like all you have to aim is tie. Yeah.
Well, one good thing
you-
with Undead against this comp is that the Novelist page swap may be painful, but it's not that painful due to the fact that the Undead does not need to chair any survivors at all. So you
Yeah.
can just hit whoever gets healed up and then deal with the Novelist after. And also, the Composer's like acceleration speed boost does not work that much because Undead one dash can negate the distance gain from the Composer.
Yeah.
Yes, but right, and the worst part right now is that usually when a composer play, they aren't really able to look back much because they're busy clicking on the notes and doing a rhythm game in the meantime. So during that, the Percy can just actually dash up right behind him without him realizing that the Percy is in their line of sight. So it might be very disadvantageous for the composer in general.
Yeah.
So maybe if when they choose a spawn area, like the composer like chose a place that is pretty safety for him to kite, or for him to cut Undead, and mostly I would say is, yeah, just for Undead, just make sure the decoding progress does not slow down. If they speed up decoding progress, then Undead it'll be pretty hard.
Well, one good news is that the Priestess portals can sort of help a bit, but not too much because the Priestess long portals will not be that effective due to the fact that the Undead can just literally hit the after image and boom, the survivor goes down, and that's what the Undead will want.
Yeah. So maybe for Undead, like the first priority survivor that he'll go is maybe Composer. The second is Novelist, because both of these characters for Undead go against Undead is pretty weak. So the Undead would like to go to, let's say, to kill both of the survivor first. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Definitely Composer or Novelist are both like favorable targets, as we can see that in the map area, Mercenary will be spawned in the middle, while Priestess will be spawned in the graveyard, which is interesting, as normally we see the Priestess spawning in the church instead, and Undead will be spawned in the red carpet, having 3 potential targets, and I believe the Novelist will be the one taking the first kite over here.
Like you can see, like, yeah, definitely, like you can see the survivors trying to lure Undead to spawn like right at the front gate, and Undead does just to spawn the front gate though. So okay, like right, maybe the first priority target like he'll go is definitely Novelist. There's no way you're going to chase Priest at the graveyard.
Yeah, that's going to be fair, especially the Priestess may transitional kite away first. So I think everything hinges on how the Novelist will rotate due to the fact that the Novelist is in the top brokens, which is one of the worst areas to kite at in this map.
Right. Let's see what kind of skill he take. I think that's teleport.
Let's see.
Is that teleport?
Yeah, I believe that's
Ooh.
teleport. So the
Yeah.
Novelist will be taking the first kite here as we expected here, and let's see, going to manage to
Oh!
take the mind game over there, gaining that first hit. So this is things are looking good with how fast the first hit goes.
Yes, and based on Percy's logic, he doesn't really need to chair a survivor, and he can just down the survivor and start pressuring gates.
Yep.
And, pressuring ciphers. So even with his charge attack,
Oh,
there
that
goes
was
the
a quick
Novelist.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
quick
that would
down.
be.
All right. Oh, it's a normal. So he's. Oh, I know. I guess like the hunter is. Undead is definitely trying to take control. Like
Abnormal
this cipher.
Undead.
Yeah, so with the abnormal build for such a hunter, the hunter's plan is probably really to actually stop them from decoding and push into a good
Ooh.
win.
That
so
was
if the
an-
hunter plays his cards right, he will be able to actually get a win in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but keep in note that having abnormal means that he'll have no ability to chase, and now does he know where the Novelist is? Because Novelist self-healed up, he definitely saw Novelist. But the thing is that the Novelist showed direction running to the right and trying to trick
yes,
the Hunter did not work, and now the Novelist will be found.
Yes,
And now
unfortunately, the Hunter
is-
did catch on with the trail, and now Novelist is kiting in one of the areas that is actually technically this Hunter's favorite area to kite.
Yeah, because
But right now,
Kieran's...
Novelist did control the Hunter and is bringing the Hunter away. Meanwhile, the Hunter's bringing his body towards him, which is even more worrying.
Yeah,
Oh!
okay. Then
But-
I think the Hunter should go back to the place and start pressuring at the Cypher progress already.
Yes,
Like
and unfortunate.
and I think the Cypher he needs to take pressure is at the church, and the Cypher is beside the church and at the back gate.
But here's the
That's
thing.
the three Cypher is pretty Huh?
Here's the thing though, currently the Novelist has no more self-heal, he expanded already. So the question is, will the survivors send someone in to try and heal him up, or will they just allow him to bleed up? But I think allowing him to bleed up is not really that favorable due to the mercenary being chased over there as the priest is
But as
actually
you can
going
see,
to go in.
the priestess has the portal, so the priestess has the world portal and will be able to help the Novelist
yeah.
for a while.
But
Yeah.
Novelist
If the Novelist-
cannot go through a portal. It cannot go through a portal. Definitely.
If he goes through the portal, it
He'll
will
die.
be the end for him.
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh.
pretty smart.
and-
At
and-
normal the Cypher over there to take control, and now does he know where the Novelist run into? Seems like
so.
he does over here, and currently he doesn't have the charge state, so he is going to be dashing over to Sasu, and it all managed to catch him off guard. So let's see, can the Novelist take
then-
control?
Novelist dead.
Oh, and unfortunately, the Novelist did
He's
use
dead.
his flying wheel a little
And-
too early.
It was
Then this matches. I think it will be a tie or more for the Undead right now.
Well, here's the thing though, it's because just now it was pretty smart as we saw the Undead actually use the charge attack to bait out the flywheel, and now the priestess
Flywheel.
will be the one taking kite over here. Undead over here has high in energy, which lowers his chasing ability a bit, so we'll have to see if the priestess will be looping around this area, not allowing himself to get down too fast.
Yes, and right
And-
now we can see that the composer still has not gotten chased, and
Yeah.
he's peacefully decoding all over the broken area. But this actually means that in the end, the last cipher would be around the back gate and graveyard area, which means it will be a straight line, which isn't really recommended against this sort of hunter.
Yeah, especially Undead having the ability to feel control. We can see a mercenary's elbow pad, unfortunately, was a bit too short and placed him in danger, but Undead will not be pursuing, going to be after the
Oh, the
composer
Cypher's-
over here. And we can see that the Cypher is almost prime, and will the Undead kick it, or nope, seems they're not going to do so, and committing to this composer right now.
Yeah, maybe the Undead is preparing for the end game and maybe change the
Oh.
trump card. Okay, so the composer would definitely did to pop this last cipher. Oh, so the cipher almost done. Yeah,
The
as
last
you can see,
Cypher is the
And
one at
now-
the church. But
oh,
Yes,
Cypher
and the
is done.
cipher's prime, so they are able to actually get the cipher. So if the survivors actually play their cards right, they will be able to actually bring one of them
Yeah,
to
three-
get down
three escape.
by dungeon. Yes. But
Yeah.
this is based on whether they know where dungeon is, because Hunter is chasing a composer, which surprisingly Hunter checked the lockers, but Hunter
Yeah.
but Hunter is chasing the composer around the broken site, but as we know, the dungeon is
Oh,
all the way
no.
at Backgate Graveyard area.
and
Feels like the
currently,
hunter was really confusing. Like where, like he know the composer is right here, but he don't know where actually he is.
yeah,
Yes,
pretty
but
good
I feel
high,
like
hear it? Can you
eventually
hear it?
he is going to find.
pretty good high.
Oh!
Oh, found it!
Oh!
Down he goes
Alright,
over there.
So now the hunter has got composer and just needs to make sure that composer doesn't get into the dungeon, where this hunter is going to reset the dungeon location if he ever sees the composer moving.
I don't think
But
he
right
even
now
need
we
to
can
reset.
see-
Nothing.
He doesn't even need to
Wait,
reset.
we can see the priestess summoning a world portal, but sadly composer can't accept because the hunter's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
I
not much
think
both
that-
sides can really do, and it's gonna be a tie once again.
And the composer, I think, is
Yes.
trying to self-heal. Oh, all right. And
Is
then
he able to?
Is he able to
Even
self-heal?
if he self-heal, it's still going to be... Come on, composer, self... No, he didn't even self-heal! That's unfortunate. Well, we end off with yet another tie.
Yeah, but I think that, like at the end game, like I think like there's one thing like I think they can do is let the mercenary help to what I say the body block composer and mercenary like he still have the elbow pad right. He use the elbow pad to escape to the gate quickly. Then composer will have the chance to escape through dungeon.
But to be fair, that is way too far because this is like this the gate that's open is the back gate and the front gate has not been touched. So it will be pretty hard for the mercenary to run all the way across the back gate, especially there is a chance that the undead would turn to the mercenary instead. So their only hope was for the composer to find the dungeon at the start, but it seems that they did not.
Yeah, they didn't know that the dungeon was spawned at around the graveyard.
Yeah, they did not know, so that definitely removed their chance over there. And it seems that the undead got a bit like failed in calculating the ciphers correctly, as he ended up allowing the survivors popping the last few critical ciphers
Yeah,
and not
like,
fully
I-
utilizing the abnormal.
Yeah, I think that the problem that is his after he killed Novellis, like he didn't go back to the cipher and keep pressuring on the cipher progress. He choose to chase Pristus, a person like a server that's never been down before, and Pristus still I think there's still a lot of portal and features at the room. So this is not a good place to make a quick down for survive for the undead.
We'll agree with you about that. But Kearney, let's note that we are at 2 rounds in and it's a deadlock tie.
Yeah. So the third round is now it's another tie.
It is a
All
tie.
right. Here comes the chance for another team. And maybe if the next team is trying to, all right, is there same team same hunter, or it'll be a switch?
We're still not sure about that currently, but we're still like waiting for both teams to submit in their maps and team comps for BO3. But honestly, as I said, that AKDS cannot afford to lose due to the fact that if they lose, it'll be over for them, as they will be the one with the lowest points for certain. So yeah, we still have one BO3, but there is a possibility for BO4 if both things tie again. But BO4 is not a situation where both teams will want to go into due to time coming into play as well. So we'll have to see, as now both teams will be giving it their all for BO3 and to try and not enter the deadly BO4.
And Zendin will be the hunter next. Really? Yeah. Okay. So I think that if both team, like for the hunter team, like if he wants to break out through the tie situation, I think like he definitely have to choose some character that have Falkir ability, like pretty meta one. Maybe Clerk will be their first priority.
Maybe or maybe not, because like 4K hunters are always coming in with a risk of being free to 4 escape, and that's not something you really want if getting free to 4 escape. So honestly, sorry about that. Honestly, if you ask me, I feel like it really have to depend on the second what happens at the first half, because like you can see the result of the first half and adjust your plans accordingly.
Okay, like just let's wait like to the team to make their choice first, especially at the map. Okay.
Alright, hold on, we're still waiting currently. So Sacred Heart Hospital has been chosen, and Atene's Hunter will be going first.
Ooh, and we have to agree with this one thing, that Sacred Hearts Hospital, although it's been here for quite a while, we can agree that Sacred Hearts is indeed actually a survivor-sided map.
Or
Right.
Yeah.
probably the most survivor-sided map.
Let's have a map.
Yes, because areas such as like ruins and hospitals, these areas actually are major counters to every and almost any hunter.
Yeah, there are not
Yeah,
lots
if the
of good
hunter doesn't-
options.
But one problem is for the Sacred Heart is Sacred Heart is like there's a lot of space. It's kind of empty, so it will be an advantage for hunter if the hunter go for chase though.
Yes, and now we can see 3 bans from the hunter side where the hunter has decided to ban Priestess, Seer, and the Mercenary.
Mercenary. Oh, so priestess like it's definitely to avoid them to use the portal around the hospital. Seer and Merce. Is there a possibility that hunter will choose play, with Bonbon? I know, like Seer, like the Bonbon doesn't afraid of Seer, but sometimes like if the Bonbon doesn't go for Seer first, maybe he choose other person, but the Bonbon, let's say, the Seer will be a troublesome for Bonbon if just run to go against the person have been checked.
Hold on a second, guys. For those of you watching the stream, I'm trying to update it ASAP as the ban picks are going off so fast, but yeah, Priestess definitely removed due to just having the high potential looping around, and there's just not a lot of hunters that can have counterplays to that, to jumping around back and forth.
Well, right now we can actually start hoping that on either side, both teams would start having other than a normal usual draw, and that we'll actually finally see one team finally winning in one round. But even though they do win in one round, we still have hope for the other team because the other team might also be able to get a win as well. So hopefully it leads to one or the other, and I hope that both teams do well.
Oh, we received news of the bans, and that is honestly some pretty interesting bans. But then again, because I'm working on putting it in a script stream, but I'm going to say it right now, is the Gamekeeper and the Feaster has been banned. And I do wonder, was this ban based off what the opposing hunter unionist over here has?
I never thought that Gravekeeper will be on the band on the band places though. Like they can go against Gravekeeper by using a Gamekeeper by using Flywheel. So if one hook is empty or did a hook on the survivor, then the Gamekeeper will just a useless hunter.
Yes, but as we noticed, none of the survivors have decided to ban the new hunter, and from the looks of it, the new hunter actually hasn't even been played for a while.
Yeah.
So how, like, what are the chances that we see them pick like Nightwatch to come out all of a sudden?
Maybe Jack. If they want
Ooh,
though.
even Jack, that would be quite menacing.
Well, don't forget, the Ripper got a 4K in Koa yesterday, man.
Yeah. So like I would say, if you say Jack is weak, the Reaper is weak. Yeah, he's weak, but he's not weak at pursuing a survivor. The main problem for Jack is he's really easily to get his invisible form to get off. Like every stun or every movement he make, it would definitely get easily to get cancel his invisible form. So it's depending for the like I say for Jack, it's kind of depending on the players. Yes, it's kind of depending on players, like how it's going to play though. And wait, what's the last two survivor? Haven't choose yet. Oh.
All right. Yep. I'm back. I was just talking to my friend. I'm at my friend's side. So the acrobat is the fourth survivor being banned. Am I correct?
Acrobat. Wait, let me take a look. Don't survivor. Acrobat, yeah.
And what are the last two survivors? Let's see then.
Last survivor, I think it's forward and mechanic.
No, forward mechanic are the first two.
First two. Oh, then
The next is still pending. So the next bans are actually Priestess, Seer, Merc, and
Acro.
Acrobat.
Acro.
Yes,
Yep.
that we've already got it, and now they're just on standby waiting for the next survivor picks. Based on what we see already as a forward and mechanic duo, what hunter do you think actually best counters this duo?
here and
Forward mechanic. Hold on.
forward mechanic. Hold on.
Dream Witch maybe.
Wax artist.
Yeah, Wax Artist is also good.
Artist.
But don't forget, this is a
Actually,
Sacred
we-
Heart Hospital. Wax Artist will struggle,
Yeah.
especially in the ruins, due to not having line of sight.
Yes, and we've actually rarely seen Dream Witch mains nowadays. Where the times that we do is from those people that, yes, they main Dream Witch, but there haven't really been many people who play Dream Witch nowadays, and now all the metas are towards all the newer hunters such as Clerk, Hermit, and even Nightwatch.
Well, I won't say Nightwatch is in the meta yet, but if we look basing this on Koa 6, Wax Artist has risen a lot in the meta due to the rise of the anti-Quarian, while Dream Witch has dropped down off the meta, and 4 also definitely dropped down too.
And,
Yes,
and the
and now we
last
can
two
see-
survivor is prisoner and prospector. Oh, interesting.
Prisoner and
Prisoner,
Prospector.
So they're
So
going
a
for
prisoner-
the Cypher Rush though.
Yes,
Well-
from the looks of it, they probably want a Cypher Rush where they can hopefully pull off a 3-man or even a 4-man escape, which can help
Well-
change this game entirely.
I think
Yeah.
we're talking about 3-man escape definitely possible, but 4-man is hard because like if the hunter knows to just target one thing, he can just target the mechanic who doesn't have any kind of abilities. But I will agree that they definitely want to Cypher Rush for a free escape, and they also have the 4 and Prospector to reverse if things goes bad at the start. Because in this meta, like how the meta changed for the past year is that a team comp needs survivors that have the ability to reverse a bad early start, and that 4 and Prospector both have the ability in doing so in this game.
Well, right now we can actually see that, yes, like what you said, the forward and prospector can start harassing if things go south. And the good thing about this is that since they do have 2 decoders, the decoding speed should be increased drastically, and it should also help the team be able to make it to the gate quicker. But this is now based on the bigger debate where whether the mechanics bot will get found quickly and if it will happen as the same situation towards the violinist match.
Hold on a second, as we received news on what is the final pick, and it is going to be the Clerk.
Clerk. Oh, then I think for Clerk, I think it's pretty hard for Clerk, like to say like there's 2 harassers.
I mean, double
Well-
decoder definitely viable, but then as mentioned by Fish over there, there's also 2 harassers though. So harassing, this will be very hard for the Clerk, as Clerk does not like harasser, let alone there are 2 over here.
Yeah, like the main problem is once one survivor eliminated by Clerk, then the Clerk will really easily can get control like all the ciphers and cipher progress and anything. Like like there's a big difference for 4 person and 3 persons like go against the Clerk. Like the situation was really different. Like so maybe like before, so the survivor all the survivor have to do is before the end game make sure none of them were eliminated, force the Clerk to keep switching targets them to chair.
Yes, And the worrying part about the clerk was originally about her stopping people from actually being able to do ciphers. But now we actually have a mechanic as well as the prisoner that can help speed up the cipher progress before the clerk
Yeah,
is able to get a
yeah.
proper amount of presence to do something.
Even though the clerk will, even though the clerk can also block the cipher, prevent the cipher from decoding, but the prisoner can also uh, uh, sending the cipher progress to the block to the cipher that is being locked by the clerk. So it is not good. Say like they do have. I think that the survivor do have starting to they know maybe they will go face against clerk. So that's why they choose prisoners. Just to prevent clerk is locking like one of not any of their cipher.
Well, I'm not sure about that, but definitely will agree that they did have to counter the clerk in mind when picking this team comp, seeing that clerk is going to struggle over here, and there. And now let's talk about the hunter character choices, as this is something that is most visible in community tournaments, because like for the survivors, they're the meta survivors that most of the survivor mains can definitely play for sure. But for the hunters, here's the thing though, is that the hunter is that in pro hunter gameplay, they can definitely play majority of the meta hunters, but for us casual community hunter players, they most of the time won't have a lot of hunter mains, like they cannot main a lot of the meta hunters at the same time, hence their character pool be limited, and this will be very visible during this tournament, as sometimes they'll be forced in bad situations. So we're
All
waiting.
right, now
Go ahead.
for mechanic. All right, I think the first priority, like for maybe like especially at a picking the spawn area, I think that definitely they will let mechanic choose to be spawned at the inside of the window, and the others will spawn outside. So it will be a tough time for clerk to chase to chase anyone. So like if the clerk was going after the mechanic, but it will be a waste of time if he chase after mechanic at the hospital. Since we know that the hospital is pretty not big, but it's still with a lot of obstacle and holes like that.
So well, but here's the thing: the fort will be the one spawned at the bottom, as the bottom is one of the weak areas of the hospital kiting. So the fort will be the one spawning there, and I think they can have one person at the ruins and one at between the ruins and the hospital, probably. But having both the ruins and the hospital as strong kiting areas, the clerk will have a rougher time with prospect and fort over here. So I think there's another interesting thing is that whether the fort or the clerk will be bringing blank or excitement.
Yeah. Mm. All right.
Unfortunately, the
Did they choose to spawn?
no,
They didn't choose
unfortunately,
to
the
spawn.
match will have to be restarted. Firstly, because area selection was off and
Oh, I see.
someone equipped a S skin.
Hi.
So hold on a second, guys. Let's hop into a pause screen over here, which I do have one. Yay! Bye.
there's a chance that the club will bring assignment, just to go against a prospector or forward. Like it is good. Like I say, like sometimes excitement can bring an unexpected reward. Yeah.
Well, now we have area selection on. We can figure this out now, but. Alright, we're still waiting in the game currently. But area selection is on, and I believe mechanic will be at the center as we predicted.
Yeah, definitely center. It is a lot safer if the mechanic was chooses spawn at the hospital.
Yes, and usually having a prisoner at ruins area is actually quite smart too, because firstly, mechanic can hide her bot in the hospital area quite well, and if the hunter ends up chasing prisoner is in one of a quite good kiting area against such hunters like a clerk.
Well, here's the thing though. Now the clerk can and will be going towards the shack, I believe, to chase the prospector, and this will also affect the prisoner. So the prisoner will also have to rotate early game. So this means that this will be two survivors that will be rotating early game that cannot decode at the beginning.
Yes, but this is actually quite fine because this is a good idea based on if the hunter goes to shack. But if the hunter goes to shack, the survivors are able to completely transition out and have a freedom area of decoding without any disruptions. But as we can see, the hunter seems to be going towards the prisoner's area instead and checking out the area. So, but instead the hunter saw the prospector first.
Never mind, still going to the prisoner.
Is rotating to the... Where is it?
Oh, this is the statue area. So now it's gonna catch the prisoner and going to be pursuing immediately, and while going to be using one recording on the mechanic to slow down the decoding speed. As we know, the clerk's main strength is from slowing down ciphers while chasing someone. And now he's going to be in pursuit over here, looping around this wall area. But the prisoner vaults a window and is going to be staying alive for now. And one shock is going to help him stay alive.
Alright, that's a quick...
But unfortunately, him getting hit like that and hunter and him still kiting in the same area without any pellets now. So it's quite worrying that he wasted one stun and still got hit in the end. Where the hunter is going to try and mind game him, where he's probably going to get down quite fast.
Oh,
that was a good
but that was a good flying
no
wheel.
use, but no use though.
But unfortunately.
And
the basement. We have to hope that the forwards is able to stun rescue, because right now the prisoner is at risk of going to basement.
Wait, he's not going to claim. He's not try him in basement.
Does that mean the hunter is trying out something else? I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, he probably thinks the chair in the basement takes a longer time and wanted to harass the outside field. And here's the thing though, is that one thing to note is the clerk brought excitement this game, meaning that the 4 in prospector combo here was having limited. The fact that the prisoner went down at such a fast time is definitely not favorable for the survivors, and the rest is going to keep coming to play and managing to take the hit over there.
And the forward is constantly stunning. No, and the hunter doesn't seem to want to use excitement because the hunter's probably saving it up against the forward who might come and harass after. Because as you can see right now, the forward isn't willing to harass, but he is willing to get healed from the prospector.
Well, to be fair, there was no point for him to use excitement because he already landed the hit on the prisoner as soon as he got rescued, and that is the defining play. Because if he did not land the hit, then there is a chance for rebound, but by getting a hit, that nullifies all the magnets and football that happened over there.
Alright, so now the situation for Survivor is not quite good. Since there's still one cipher they need to decode. One cipher,
and from what we are seeing, the mechanics bot is also doing a cipher. Meanwhile, the hunter's just recording the bot and just using the bot to just reduce the cipher even more, which is quite bad. And unfortunately, no one is coming to rescue the prisoner, as the prisoner actually did get down as still 4 ciphers left.
Yeah. And this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the problem that the cipher rushing speed they will face it. Like if one of the survivors were down too quickly, then everything will be really tough.
And right now you can see where the mechanic is kiting at. It is actually quite a worrying area to kite, especially since it's at a very corner of the map. But right now we can see Mechanic transitioning to an area. But as we know, Clerk can record a survivor pushing down a pallet, and Mechanic's pallet pushing speed is extremely slow, so it's very worrying.
Well, the mechanic's gonna go down over here, so now things are going to be rough because there's still 4 whole ciphers remaining. I know that they're all have progress, but still 4 ciphers is pretty hard. And because the thing is that the survivors brought the 4 and the prospector in a like they want to have these 2 survivors to reverse a bad early game, but we can see earlier they failed to do anything with a prisoner, which is why they're in such a dire situation now. And as noted, is that one thing with Clerk is that if the first survivor gets eliminated too fast, it'll be very easy to snowball it.
Yes, and remember, right now, both sides are actually on a constant draw base. And also the Clerk isn't noticing that the prospector is the one actually coming for the rescue instead of the forward.
Yep. So Seam over here, he will be trying to go back to chase the mechanic, but the prospector here is harassed, and pretty smart for Unubis over here to walk in the distance to make sure the prospector cannot magnet pull him.
Yes, but right now it's actually quite worrying that there is still 3 ciphers left, and Mechanic is potentially going to die really quick.
Well, this is the mechanic's second chair, and there's not much for the mechanic to go because he brought broken windows, meaning that he has no flywheel effect. So Magnet's going to be into play here, but let's see, will the Clerk be using excitement over here? I believe. Oh, not going to be using the excitement, rather wanting to snatch a hit over here, and the flywheel effect is pretty effective, bouncing the Hunter backwards.
Yes, and unfortunately Hunter was not able to get, I mean the Prospector was not able to get that hit. And if you actually notice, the Mechanic did use her bot to heal up the forward during the time.
So now the 4 can definitely come if he wants to, but it seems that the Prospector will still be the one coming in. And currently there's still 2 more ciphers. One is at the 4 and the last one is at the bot, but the bot is about to run out, so things are still not looking good as the Clerk can just do a target attack right now.
Yes, and the Clerk did try and go for a Terror Shock, unfortunately didn't get one. But now Prospector is down and Mechanic's the one that's getting chased, as well as forward cipher being stuffed. So right now with all this decoding progress, it's extremely worrying to see that they are able to get a draw even, because based on what the Hunter's doing, the Hunters actually, like, as you know, most Clerk mains, their best ability at the end game would be to stop the gate from opening.
I do wonder that the Clerk did not use excitement over there, because he totally could have used excitement to land a hit on the Mechanic, but instead this is gonna allow the Mechanic to stay alive and like even longer at this point.
Maybe he has made the Clerk is hesitated to use the.
Yes, but right now the last cipher that's being done is actually only at 10%. So if Mechanic's able to kite for long enough, the Mechanic will be able to help clutch up. But the direction she's going towards is the last cipher area. So now Hunter's just going to stop the decoding. But right now Mechanic is getting healed while Hunter's too busy dealing with the Prospector.
But over here, this actually gave the survivors a chance by releasing the one chair dead Mechanic back outside field, because it seems that the Hunter did not know where the last cipher is. And also another thing that I noticed is that the Clerk also did not gain any pallet recordings throughout the game, as he keeps on recording the survivors doing other items, but never really got to record herself breaking pallets, making her at a disadvantage every time she goes to a pallet mind game situation.
And
But as you can tell, like right now, the decoding progress overall, there are both sides being worked on, which is one being the one outside of
changed to abnormal.
Changed to abnormal.
But no use, because the last cipher is at the where is the statue?
No, the other thing I questioned was that just now he was 1 pallet away from the Mechanic, so he could have definitely swapped into Blink to down the Mechanic. Like if he had,
he could have either swapped to Blink or used that excitement when the Mechanic pallet stunned him.
Yeah, because using the abnormal here is like one doesn't do much, considering that they're 3 separate ciphers. So I really do wonder why didn't the Clerk use the trump card earlier, and why would he use it use it to the abnormal now.
Oh my god.
I suspect that the hunter actually forgotten that they had blink during this time, so that might be the potential reason why the hunter has not been using that ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Right now we can see that the cipher at statue is the only highest progress with more than 50%.
And the
Well-
Cypher was definitely able to prime.
Yes, the cipher is definitely able to prime from a. And the prospector decided to pop it on the spot instead of getting pressured.
How? I'm wondering how is it? How the Cypher is going to tie? Oh my god.
right
No,
now,
the
the
thing
forward
is
has
that the
to-
clerk made some very questionable gameplays towards the end with the trump card, and also with the general ineffective usage of the recordings. But the prospector is
And-
knocked down, and keep in mind that the prospector does not have self-heal, but seems like the clerk will still be carrying anyways, and now he can also try and aim for the forward that is also at the back gate over there.
Yes, but remember there is also a mechanic that's still doing her gate, which is only at it's actually at 70% already. So mechanic will be able to get the gate. Unfortunately, forward will be stunning, and without him having excitement anymore, he would have been a long stun.
Oh, but still managed
but
to
he
down
did
the
get-
prospector. Can he lock the gate
Yeah,
with the
so-
forward? Oh, but he's going to lock the gate at the outside and allowing the Ford to pop the gate in front of the face. But the Ford's still not exiting, as he wants it, as he seems to have other ideas. But this is not. This
It
is.
feels like
But I suspect right now that the hunter does not know that the prospector has used up his self heal.
yeah.
And with this, you can also see the mechanic making her way surprisingly to the gate.
Oh, he wanted here to bait the hunter, but now, but
And the detention is almost end ready. So like
So now
they,
hunter will have to chair the prospector far away. If not, it will be an end of a loss towards the hunter.
yeah.
If they have.
but
and
can the
worst part
prospector
is that-
circle free? He already placed him down one. Still going to chair, but will the
I think the
survivor
clerk,
have other
like,
ideas?
Okay, yeah. Record his attack right now. He's still record his attack while he's still at detention. Why you don't record? What the?
Well, the survivors are going in, but I'm not certain if it's going to work out for them. Seeing that there's also the mechanic with one chair dead, it seems that they want to protect this
Oh my
prospector,
God.
but prospector still has magnets to use over here. Oh, one flywheel
Oh,
managed to dodge over there,
flywheel!
and now he's going to switch target. Or never mind, still chasing this prospector.
But is there a chance that the prospector can escape?
No, the
he-
prospector can't.
Oh,
wait,
feels like can.
Yeah, the prospector has no more
Mechanic,
magnets
wait,
over
I-
there.
Unfortunately, the mechanic doesn't seem to want to body block, which is quite
Oh.
unfortunate. And
Oh,
the hunter has pulled up the wrong pellet.
Oh my god, what happened right now?
So with a lot of the hunter's own mess ups, the
Oh.
prospector is able to kite for even longer, and with abnormal, hunter can't really stop the
Oh.
prospector.
Yeah.
They decided to heal again and they're coming for body block. Oh.
Imagine what would have
Oh.
happened if the hunter had blink at this point. Oh, the mechanic managed to body
mechanic-
block
wait,
over
wait,
there.
wait,
They're all
wait,
running
wait.
for it. They're all running for it. Can they make it out? But keep in
It looks
mind,
like they're going
prospector
to
and
make it out.
mechanic
From
are
the
both
looks of
one.
it seems like it's going to be the survivor's
See,
first
was-
win.
Oh my god!
所以你他妈的
That was-
我操
That was truly intense.
What on earth have I just witnessed?
I don't know. Like how the counter can lose. Like oh my god.
Honestly,
The
the clerk
hunter,
made
the
like
hunter had such a good start where I believe the hunter would have actually won fully in this entire thing. Unfortunately, the hunter got confused and didn't really use their skills much, which
No.
ends up with them just switching to abnormal strangely on a 15% cipher.
Yeah.
And doing so just results with what the hunter had experienced, which was 3 survivors escaping.
honestly,
where
the
they
clerk had
all
so
body
many
blocked.
ways to win. First of all, using his trump card to swap into blank, actually recording some breaking pallets. Like there's just so many ways for him to gain advantage, and he just used trump card in one of the like more weaker ways. As even if he saved trump card for endgame, everything could have been different. But he did not use it when he needed to, and he did not use the trump card when he needed to secure the win, and he threw away his trump card at the worst timing possible.
Yes, because remember that
Yeah.
that a clerk is usually very overpowered, not based on abnormal, but mainly based on the usage. And as well, if you haven't noticed, if a clerk uses abnormal, usually they will record themselves using it, but
Yeah.
this one did not.
Even. Damn.
And as what Jong also stated as well as you fish, the hunter has not really recorded a pallet moment, and whenever the hunter did record a pallet, being pushed down by a survivor, the hunter activates that pallet to bring back up at the wrong area.
Oh my god! How? Like I'm wondering how the server can get a fucking 3-minute escape? How? Okay. Oh my god. Okay. This first of all, the survivor didn't. I was at the start of game, like especially where prisoners, like the first thing I think that they have to do is they must protect prisoners, even though the hunter have assignment, but they definitely have to. If otherwise, like, do you see like the hunter can get really easy to control like all the cipher progress. Okay, that's the point. Like in the end, how the hunter can lose?
Oh, because the hunter did not use his effective recordings
Yeah.
effectively and just allowed the mechanic to escape and not using his trump card when he needed to. It's like he did not use his skills effectively at all. Like the survivors, first of all, did not have harass and kind of effectively, but the clerk ended up not using his recordings effectively at all and wasting trump card as well.
Oh my god! Now I'm commentating in English, so I cannot speak a lot because my English is not good. But if I commentate in Chinese, I definitely go really toxic right now. I get really toxic.
The over toxicity is kicking in.
Yeah, the tox. Oh, I'm like, how you can lose? Like, it's a fucking 4Q or 3Q, and you can't lose. All right, fine.
Jong, I think you
Okay.
need to change that. You need to change that stream out. Need to censor some words. Need to edit some wordings.
Monetize, huh?
Time you're trying to demonetize Jong. I love it.
Yeah.
This is goodbye, Jong.
Well, we received the first 3 bans, which is Seer,
Tia, Merce,
and
Priestess.
Mercenary.
Tia, Merce, Priestess. Well. Alright, let me take a sip of water first.
Well, Seer, Priestess, and Mercenary being banned currently, this is sort of like a mirror ban situation. So I actually think that with this mirror ban, I am excited to see what builds will pull out. Because Zen pulled out Undead just now. I do wonder will he be trying to go for it. But currently all Zen needs to do is to tie a match. So I think he can play it more safe and go for some more tying hunters rather than just risking a free 4K at this point of time.
Yes, and I suspect that usually having a hunter that can at least ensure a tie would usually be a Bonbon style character, as well as some other characters like even Nightmare, because Nightmares are able to teleport from one gate to another if he has the teleport ability as well as the Crow. So this will be able to pressure a little in, like more than enough to actually ensure at least a draw.
Hold on a second, as we have received news on the first 2 survivors being picked, and the anti-quern chosen, not much surprise, but the Mind's Eye is being chosen in here, as we are actually seeing the Mind's Eye in competitive gameplay, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you think about this Mind's Eye? Like, Mind's Eye, but I think they'll definitely have to spawn the Mind's Eye in the hospital hospital, or else she cannot kite. But here's the thing though, the Mind's Eye, if not chase her first, she'll have some insane amount of decoding speed. So it's like a lose-lose situation on whether the hunter wants to charge in the hospital to chase her, or just let her decode with a fast decoding
Alright
speed.
guys, I'm back.
Yo, you good, bro?
Not good. Not good. After saw the club play like this, I'm like, Jesus Christ, help me. Okay.
Well, we received news on the next two being sorry about that. We received
drink of water.
news on the next two survivors being, or next two are the hunter bands, and it's going to be the Man's Eye and the Undead, seeming banning some unconventional choices. But don't forget, Zen surprised us with an Undead just now, so I guess they knew that Zen also had a Mad Eyes as well.
Whoa, Meta will ban. So, is there a chance the hunter will be clever again? Since the survivor got a 3-man escape though.
I think he can probably play it more safe at this point of time, because I think he can play it safe at this point of time because all he needs is a tie, to be fair.
Yeah. Or maybe Bonbon or Vex Artist would be good. Even though like we know that hospital is pretty difficult for Bonbon and Vex Artist.
Well, not necessary for Bonbon, because there is a strategy to choose Peeper Composer and or rather Peeper Bonbon, and then put them in the hospital so that whoever is in the hospital cannot properly kite.
Yeah.
So we have also received news on the last two survivor picks, and it's going to be the first officer and composer. As we can see over here that and Tenet over here really likes their composer that can decode fast and also transitional kite.
But they choose a blind girl. I mean the Mind Eye, not blind girl. I think it would be a problem though.
Yeah,
For them.
Well, based on this map, if they chose a Mind's Eye, well, we obviously know where the Mind's Eye is going to be placed, which is the safest place in the entire map, which is hospital.
yeah. So it seems like
And what's even better is that although if she's on top and the hunter's like below her, she can just walk around and she'll see an outline of the hunter going up from which direction and area, so she'll be able to drop down at the perfect timing.
Hey, jump! Invite me.
I'm not invited.
I'm also not invited.
Oh right.
Yep, they starting without us. We'll comment it in another.
Oh, so in the end, the hunter choose is Bonbon.
Yep, it's still going to be the Bonbon. And as I said, Bonbon is such a tie hunter, which is what Zen Nadine only needs over here. And I think he can, but this is a Cypher rushing team though, with both the composer and the Mind's Eyes. And the first officer is always a guaranteed rescue in front of Bonbon. So here I believe if the cards are right for Atene's side, they can also free escape.
Yeah. But just to be mentioned, like, if I was remember correctly, like, oh, that's anti-Korean. Anti-Korean. Only one harasser. I think it will only be a tie though. The worst thing for Hunter is tie, because like if the anti-Korean is going to protect his teammate, like the any debuff for the Hunter will be a lot shorter than usual.
Yes. Jong, remember when I told you about first officer against a Bonbon?
Yeah?
So for now, them having a pick of first officer in their team, and for the hunter to still pick Bonbon, it is very risky for the hunter, because usually a Bonbon can usually guarantee a tie, or like in a high chance on getting a tie. But if first officer were to exist in this picture, there is actually a very lesser chance on the Bonbon actually forming a tie, especially if the first chase is a long kite. Because
Well,
usually if
but
the
then
first chase is a long
But then the Mind's Eye doesn't have any kiting abilities though, so the bomber can definitely bring peepers and charge in the hospital to chase the Mind's Eye. As I noted, this is a very common strategy used in China IVL, as PVCR does that, brings peeper and hospital Mind's Eye, or hospital bonbon. So I do wonder, would that be the case over here?
Yeah, I do agree that I do agree that maybe the hunter would just bring a tot at the peeper though, especially like if Mine Eye is trying to play hide and seek with you, you just put a peeper, everything will be solved.
Yeah, but the thing
So,
is the
yeah.
bonbon willing to risk like running in circles and laps with a Mind's Eye who also can see an outline of him potentially?
Yeah.
So if the hunter does get lucky enough to get the Mind's Eye quickly, then this will be a whole game changer, because now they will have to actually sell the Mind's Eye if the Mind's Eye gets down too quickly. And what's worse is that if
You cannot really sell in this
by-
game though, because the thing is that they needed a free escape, so they cannot sell, so they can only rescue. But here's the thing: is that if the Mind's Eye goes down fast, the first officer can't do guaranteed rescue, and I think this would all end up being a race of cipher decoding speed in the end, because they do have the double decoder. So it's to see whether is the chasing speed faster, is the decoding speed faster, because like both decoders cannot kite for long, so it's just a race of cipher decoding speed.
Yes, and now we have to actually hope that they are able to decode fast enough, because right now, the most risky one would actually be the basement actually being in hospital, because if basement is in hospital and Mind's Eye still continuously kite in the same area, the bonbon can have a more the most likely chance on getting a down
Oh,
and a
Double
fail
down.
rescue.
Yeah.
let's
Oh,
look at
but-
this T-shaped
Yeah.
area selection. This is
So
is actually-
the hunter should pick bottom.
actually a very interesting,
Wait, is the game
very
the game
interesting pick
started?
over here.
Is the game started?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Wait, Jong, you have to change your.
I changed it.
Your.
Wait! I
see.
can't.
I see, okay.
I can't see anything. I'm still stuck at the
Oh no.
the page of them. I know.
Maybe you have to watch the stream, because I don't want it to pause, because we still have another game.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. I tried to. It's okay. I tried to relock the game. I tried to restart the game.
Good luck.
Okay.
So,
now,
wait, let's talk
with
about
weather.
that area selection though. Will he be chasing the composer or charging for the Mind's Eye? And let's see, will he actually be bringing Peeper? As I'm curious, but Osborn in the game, it seems that here he's going to be good for the composers. He knows that 3 people spawn at the same side of the map, and he has brought, 45 seconds. He seems that he's brought excitement or teleport over here.
Yes,
Oh.
and might even be blink. And seems like the composer got a little bit mind game by the hunter, but I don't. Oh, but the hunter is unfortunately not able to get the bomb hit while the composer boosts away. But now Mind's Eye gets to peacefully decode in one area. So there is a potential chance that hunter does have teleport instead, where the hunter can just teleport to the Mind's Eye.
Yeah, no. Based on
But-
this cooldown, this is going to be teleport. It seems like his plan is to do quenching effect, and TP to the Mind's Eye over here. But we can see that the Mind's Eye already transitioned far away as the composer brought it near to him, and now he knows where the Mind's Eye is, but isn't able to teleport due to the long gap between her and the cipher.
Yes, and now he's just hoping to get a hit on the composer, which he ended up getting, luckily. But now, right now, as you can see the cipher progress, the first officer is already at 50%. Meanwhile, the anti-current is also at around the same progress. And Mind's Eye already have one cipher at Birdcage at a high progress. And she's even doing a new cipher right
Oh,
now.
trying
While
to bomb it
composer-
out and manage to pull it off. So this has
Ooh.
ended up being a relatively fast down. As we can see, the first wave of ciphers is only around 70 to 80% yet, and this is not enough if the survivors need a free escape.
Yes, but right now, remember, there is a first officer that can pull off a very last second before half rescue, which is quite good. And as we can see, the first officer is in shack. But if the hunter does notice that he's in shack already, the hunter can start stopping him from decoding as well
Ooh.
as. Oh, and that's a nice bomb hit. But if, from the looks of it, the first officer is forcing down his cipher, probably knowing that he is not going to be able to pull off the rescue unscathed.
Well,
But
the
let's
first
hope that he
officer
uses
is
his pocket
rushing in
watch.
though, so the first officer will be rescuing, but he already got bombed once, so this is a dangerous situation as he has a potential to get a double down over here. So let's see what's gonna happen here. Managed to hit, but never mind. It seems it's over half chair time from that good mind game from Zen over here.
Yes, but he was. Oh,
Oh?
but he's now ran out of time, and Hunter hit the chair, unfortunately. So now, first officer came off unscathed with only one bomb hit from the earlier part, while Composer will be able to kite for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but let's see. This bomb hit miss over here. I feel like Zen could have considered using the remote bomb just now. But keep in mind that this was an over half chair time due to a bit too late of a rescue
Yes,
from
but-
the first officer's side. So now this composer will be eliminated with this chair. So this is going to be very bad considering the survivors needed a free escape.
And as you can see, the coordinator actually tried her best to make it close enough. But now she's stopping them from stopping the hunter from actually reaching the cipher so that they can hopefully finish the cipher on time.
Yeah, but the cipher's
sadly,
already
from the looks
primed
of
over
it-
here though. So here is going to be camming the cipher. I do feel like the better option is to just target the mine side. Seeing the mine side has no kiting ability at all, but instead he's now going to be chasing this anti-Querin, which is a bit of a risk considering anti-Querin still has a lot of her weapons remaining.
Yes, and as you can see, Bonbon does have detention. So, and he does have teleport. So all he needs is just to get the Mind's Eye, which he is chasing now. And
Oh,
Mind's Eye unfortunately failing the flying wheel and getting down.
yep, mines are gonna go down over here. So now, considering that they needed a free escape, they'll have to try to save this mine side. But how are you going to do that in front of a detention bonbon though?
Yes, and as you can tell, since the Bonbon brought detention, that means he was already expecting such a scenario to happen where he's hoping that someone would try and come and rescue because he'll be able to stop them. So right now, from the looks of it, they are not planning on rescuing, while the first officer still slowly making his way to Shack Gate in slow motion. But right now, as far as we can tell, AK has actually won this match, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, AKTS definitely won this match. Over here, as we can see, the first officer and anti-Queer are at the other side, and they'll be leaving, meaning that we are going to be having a winner. As congratulations to AKTS for defeating Antenne over here.
Yes, congratulations for getting another draw in this match, but at least this draw has led to a win due to the survivor side.
Yep, due to the free escape just now. So now we can congratulations AKTS for winning and allowing themselves to stay alive with one win under their belt.
Yeah.
So honestly, I really feel like that the first officer was a bit like too determined in rushing their last cipher, and as a result, they arrived way too late and allowed the Bonbon to camp over half chair time. That is probably the most deadliest thing ever, because of that over half chair time, meaning that the room of error for Composer is just too little. So I really feel like he should have came earlier and ensured a safer rescue instead.
Yes, but
Yeah.
even if he did come later, he could have done this thing where, with his pocket watch, he should take a bomb hit during the pocket watch time, so that his pocket watch will actually enable him to have tie, where he can just force the rescue exactly before half, and the hunter can't do anything about it. Even
Uh-huh.
if the hunter hits him and so-called terror shock, tide would still be activated, and
Oh
he
no!
could have
If
still
it's a terror
rescued
shock,
before half.
if it's a terror shock, it was over because at that point the first officer
No.
did not take any bomb hits.
Yes, no, I mean if he had taken the bomb hit.
Yeah.
If he had taken that one single bomb hit near the chair, and he instant rescued, there was no stopping that rescue, regardless of what the hunter does.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, he kept constantly avoiding the bomb hit, which isn't wrong, because obviously you don't want to get bomb hit, but he avoided it too much to the point that firstly his pocket watch ended, which risked him actually getting terror shock.
Yep.
And also causing the composer to go after half.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. The first officer did not pull off that rescue accurately, which I feel like it was a bit of a shame. So now we're going to be taking a break, guys. So we still have one more match today. We still have one more match today, so we'll take a 5-minute break before we begin Fly High and Atene over here to determine which two teams will be advancing to the finals next week. See you in a bit, guys.